Good morning, everyone. I know people will be strolling in here. I just wanted to say a very good morning. Actually, before, can I just, Chantal, I think you're on. Can you just send me a quick note to make sure you can hear me okay before I officially begin? Okay, thank you. Always better to do the sound check first. So good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday morning. It's as we record this Sunday, February 27th, and we are continuing our journey into self-compassion. Today might be a little different only because what I had originally planned, I kind of changed given the current circumstances of the world we're living in, as we, for the most part, in many places at least, restrictions are lifting, and maybe a feeling at least that we're coming out of this global pandemic and we wake up and war is raging in other parts of the world. And so I wanted to do a practice today that might help process, if you will, some of the feelings that many of us may be feeling, some of the things that we might be going through. And so the practice today is a Tonglen practice, which is this beautiful practice of giving and receiving. And it's almost, I imagine it sometimes like my heart center has this capacity to filter out all of the suffering and push out the love and compassion, and these heart-centered practices that we practice here. And so it's almost like either this filtration system or, sorry, oh, excuse me, this filtration system or this process where our own capacity in our heart space is quite unique to be able to do this. And so sometimes, people need to visualize it in a way that allows them not to carry what we're receiving, and to hold on to it, but actually to process it and release it back into the world. And so as we move through this practice, as always, care for self. If it feels like too much, go back to your breath, into the anchor, into some space of home base, as we often call it, of being with your breath, being in safety, hand to chest, reminding yourself you're safe and you're okay. But if you are able to, in a similar fashion to loving kindness, we will go through a process of it for ourselves, for others, and the world around us. And so I invite you to find a comfortable seat for whatever that feels like for you today. I'm on my meditation cushion today, but of course, as always, you can sit in a seat. And making any physical movements that you might need before settling into whatever space or posture feels okay for you today. My hip's a little sore, but I'm hoping it settles down as I settle in. And so making whatever, sometimes, moving the shoulders, moving the hips, stretching a little bit before we settle, noting any sensations in your body as before we begin, and making any adjustments. So often, especially if we're doing longer sits, and we will be doing a few minutes of quiet meditation within this practice today, make a decision for yourself, because there's no right or wrong of this, although different meditation styles would disagree with me, but make a decision whether you're going to move or not. Meaning, if you get an itch, just decide, okay, I'm going to scratch it, versus sitting in, do I, the mental thoughts of, do I do it? Do I not? Should I do it? Should I not? Because of course, that's getting us wrapped up into the stories in our own brain. So right now, make a decision to either sit, in stillness and move through that discomfort, or just deal with it. So if your hip's sore like mine is today, move, right? Stretch out your leg, do something, and don't sit in the contemplation of it or the mind, the whirling mind waves that sometimes come when we're sitting in quiet. Okay, so as we find our seat, either closing your eyes or lowering your gaze, whatever feels okay for you. If you're going to lower your gaze, I do suggest looking away from the screen, just because that can be distracting. Also, we are on screens for so much of our day. It's okay to not be. And if you're closing your eyes, just allowing yourself now to settle. And check in with your body right now. Scan it from head to toe in similar fashion to what we've been doing in the last few sessions of doing body scans. So just checking in, are we okay? What is here in the body? What is here in the thinking, in the mind? What is here as it relates to our emotions, feelings? Noticing, naming. We're not trying to change anything. We're simply giving a little bit of space for whatever might be going on. Bringing our attention, our awareness to our breathing. Resting, if possible, in the body, the breathing. Noticing the subtle movements of the body with the breath. Bringing our attention into the chest, into the heart center, that deep heart space, middle of the chest, back behind the ribs. Perhaps placing hand over chest if that helps you increase the awareness of the sensation. And breathing in and out. Cultivating a sensation in this part of our bodies. And for right now, bringing to mind the state of the world and all of us in it as best we can from our practice, from our place right now, holding this breathing in the suffering and pain of the world now. Exhaling support and care, love. You don't have to feel anything, but rather just cultivate this intention of inhaling the suffering and the pain of the world and exhaling love and support. Imagining the heart has this capacity to transmute and transform all of the suffering, and sending out from our heart space radiant energy of love and support. Perhaps it's a sensation in your body Perhaps it's a feeling of extending that radiant light energy out from your body. Whatever it may be, imagining breathing in the suffering, breathing out love. Breathing in the suffering, breathing out care, doing this in your own way. And then allowing this sense of the world and your relationship to it to fade, while continuing to attend to the sensations in your chest, in your heart center breathing here. And then imagining yourself, or the felt sense of yourself within you. And now, as best as you can, breathing in love and support for yourself, and breathing out your own pain and suffering. Breathing in love and support, and releasing any of your own pain, suffering, stress. Any of the self-critical thoughts that are running. Allowing any of your own distress to be released with each exhale. Breathing in compassion, love, breathing out suffering, anxiety, despair. Cultivating this as an intention to care for yourself equally as you might care for the world. Breathing in, breathing out. Now allow this image of yourself to fade, bringing the attention back to the physical sensations in your chest, and allowing your attention to remain there, breathing in, breathing out. Returning again to the sensations of the world, the pain and the suffering that is existing, breathing in that pain and breathing out love and compassion. As big or as small as that may be for you today. Perhaps it is the communities around us, the people that are suffering, or larger. Releasing this breathing and returning to the self. Breathing in love and compassion for yourself. Breathing out your own pain and suffering. Breathing out any of the distress that you may be feeling. And releasing this, returning to the breath, to your chest, to your heart space, noticing the sensations of the breath, the gentle movement of your body as you breathe in and breathe out. And remaining here in quiet meditation for a few moments. Returning as the mind wanders to your breath, to the gentle movement and sensation of the movement of your body. Cultivating the love and compassion in your heart for yourself, for others, for the world around us. As your mind wanders, bringing it back to your body. This beautiful, effortless exchange, the inhale and the exhale, giving and receiving in equal measure, both as important, one as important as the other. The body's ability to exchange the oxygen we breathe, transform it into carbon dioxide and other gases that are released, that are toxic to us, to our bodies, that are released then out into the world to be used by other plants and other things that use that which we breathe out to sustain themselves. In these final moments, starting to bring awareness not only to your breath, but to the rest of your body. Noting your body in space, in the room that you're sitting. Starting to take in the sounds of the room, how your body feels where you're sitting. And as it feels appropriate for you, opening your eyes and returning to the room, returning to the present. As hard as it is sometimes to be in this world, it's also really important that we all remember that our actions, however small, contribute to the whole. That me to we to us is all connected. The us includes the me. And so whatever we can do in our small ways, in our small worlds, to cultivate kindness, to cultivate love and compassion, both for ourselves and for others, contributes to that kindness in the world around us. So I know sometimes people feel like, well, it's not a lot, but it is so important. Those small efforts, the microcosm that we all live in, our small worlds, even within ourselves, contribute to the macrocosm that we all live in. And although we might not be able to change the circumstances, the actions that we take every day change the future. That's the law of karma. We can't change today by today. We can only change it by taking different action and establishing a different pattern of behavior for the future. And we each have our own way of contributing to that, including kind of remembering the giving and receiving within ourselves is so important. As we've been talking about self-compassion, that giving that to ourselves is as essential as giving it to others. That is, in fact, that me to we to us rhythm that is so important. With that, I thank you for attending Sunday Morning Mindful Practice. I hope to see you next week, and I hope you have a lovely week. Take good care of yourselves.